caliber and character of people like Phil, and we're really looking forward to a long-term partnership and everything we're doing. So what I want to do today is I want to talk about leads. Um, it's quick raise of hands. If you had enough people to talk to, would you be selling more? I am getting a bunch of people raising their hands. Absolutely. If we had more people to talk to, we'd be selling a lot more. The problem is that it, Phil and I always joke around about it. And I joke around with people that anybody that's been in the industry for longer than 5 years, it's like, I mean, not even that deep, longer than 2 years, honestly, is that when you get your license, no one teaches you 99.99% of the stuff you learn to pass the test has nothing to do with how you're actually going to run the business. And so because of that, we have to learn all of these things ourselves, like lead generation, marketing. How does all that work? And usually it's trial and error, or you learn from other people. And the one of the phrases that I love, I think I don't know if I've officially coined it, but I haven't heard anybody else say it this way. Is one of the greatest things about this industry is that you have to learn from other people. One of the worst things about this industry is that you have to learn from other people. Um, and that's really what paints a lot of what's happening here. And that's why I'm very excited to be able to jump on and talk about the marketing and lead generation side. So today is going to be a teaser. And my goal, especially for everyone that's here, because everyone that's here, you're working for the most part, you're working with Phil in one way, shape, or the other. You're working with Valor Financial. And that's really exciting. And I want to provide as much value to you as possible so that you can write more business. Because if you write more business, of course, everybody wins. And that's what I like about how this model works. And that's what I'm excited about. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to talk more about one of our lead generation tools that can get you more people to talk to. And then the offer that I'm going to do is the same thing at the end is just to have an individual conversation to see how we can take the tools that we have and how we can help you individually because everything um, you're not like any of the agents that are on here. Everyone is unique. There are principles that don't change, but we want to help you on an individual basis get to where you want to go. So with that said, I know I like to do a lot of hand raising and things like that. Um, really quick, does that sound good? Would everyone be excited if I can show you a way to be able to generate more leads? Would that be good with everyone? All right, awesome. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Again, if it's a little slow, I apologize. It's gonna take a second. All right, come on. So really quick, again, raise of hands. How many people can see my screen right now? As long as I get a couple of you, then that means we're good to go. All right. So it looks like everyone could see my screen. Thank you so much for the audience participation. That is great. Okay, so what you're seeing right now is our the, our platform, of course, our software that we built is called Lead Base with two E's. Um, and this is the user interface of the software. And one of the things that you're seeing on here is our, we named it kind of cute, Get Leads program. And so what I want to walk through is how you can use a tool like this to be able to generate more conversations and how AI works within this. Now, like I said, this is meant as a teaser. We're going to do a much bigger concept than this, and I'm going to put in a bonus as well for anyone that stays till the end of this presentation and watches this and then schedules a time with me for 30 minutes is going to get free lead. All right. How many of you like free leads? All right. Yes, everyone should be raising their hands. So those are the you stay, you watch, and you schedule an appointment. In that appointment, I will generate free leads for you, and I'm going to generate 50 for each person. So I've done this a bunch of times in a lot of different scenarios. Um, I'm going to ask for a little bit of audience participation so that I can show you from an individual standpoint how this works a little bit more. So, really quick, I'm going to ask the audience, whoever answers first, I get to do this for, is tell me one of your major target demographics. Like, is it business owners? Is it chiropractors? Is it doctors? Who goes after a specific target market? Um, could be anything, but what put in the chat or put in the Q&A, what is one of your target marketplaces? Don't all answer at once. All right. If I got business owners, okay, thank you. Thank you so much. And I apologize if I mess it up, but Roshni, thanks. So business owners, medical field, 401k, business owners and doctors. Okay, perfect. That gives me enough. Roshni, you were the first one to answer, so I'm going to do business owners. And um, this is what this looks like. So what you're seeing here is there's three different types of searches that we can do. We have industry search, we have people search, and then we have a single search. And what that is that's going to be based on a company or a company website. So right now, business owners are definitely at. Let's get a little bit more specific. And you mentioned business owners, and then we had someone else mention medical field. So let's talk to doctors. So here we go. We're going to start a new campaign, and we're going to call this the Business Owner Doctor Campaign. And we're going to start off doing an industry search. All right, next thing I'm going to need from everyone is a city that you are around. So name a city, any city. So let's see, any city. Dallas, perfect. Thank you, Anoop. All right, we've got Dallas. We're looking for, uh, let's say, family doctor, Dallas, Dallas, Texas. And then this isn't necessary, but this is dentist, doctor. There we go. If we don't have it, like I said, this is an optional part, but then we're going to hit search. Now, as this is searching, it takes just a couple seconds, especially with my internet. But what we're going to look for, another one in Nashville, nice. We can do that search in a second. Is what it's going to generate then is it's going to go search for these doctors. It's going to search for the businesses. It's going to search for the owners. It's going to search for the phone numbers, and things like that. And what it's going to generate is what we call a lead. Now, let's define a lead really quick because there's a difference between a lead, a prospect, or an engaged lead. So a lead in this case is merely a person that has that you have a contact name and a way to contact them. Doesn't matter whether that's a phone number, an email, Facebook Messenger, an Instagram Messenger, their TikTok. It has, some form for you to be able to communicate with that lead, basically. Now, what we're going to talk about next is turning that lead into an engaged lead. That's some of the stuff that we talked about last week from database reactivation conversations and things like that. But right now, what we're doing is just generating the lead, the contact with the contact information. We'll get to the second step in a little bit. All right, so here's the information. Now, it's pulling a lot of that in real time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the campaign, that specific campaign, And I gave it enough time that it's pulling out that information. As you see, from searching 14 of them, which I can search a lot more if I wanted to, um, then it found 13 emails, and one of the businesses it didn't find anything. Now, for you, this isn't really terribly important. The stuff that's in the ratings, like their Facebook page, Instagram, LinkedIn, all that good stuff, besides the idea that you can literally click on any one of these and it's going to go straight to um, that business's Facebook page. And if you have some really awesome messaging, you can then go to this and message them right here, um, and start a conversation. Now, this, of course, is a little bit different, a larger practice, but you get the idea. So this place is gigantic, but here, this is the information it's pulling. So one of the main doctors that's there, you're seeing the location, seeing how many employees that place has. You're seeing, do they have a Google My Business? Are they getting reviews and things like that? They're seeing all um, their social media accounts. You're seeing the main phone number, and then you're seeing this too with the contact persons. You're seeing the people that work there and what information you can pull from that. And as you see, when I hit show contacts, you have people that you can get very specifically. Oh, keep on going down. So you see this information, you see their emails. Now, you're not always going to be able to pull positions and stuff like this. From this case, you see, Roy Harris is the general counsel. Um, and in this case, you're not getting phone numbers. The phone numbers are for those individuals. That's usually tough. But um, that is something that you can do for each one. So, like I said, it didn't pull an email from that. And then, like I said, if you had a really good crafted email that was specific to them, then you can message these people. Now, let's do this. Other things that come in this, and this is with the AI portion, is you can generate. Ah, um, there's one other thing that we created on this that I need to set up, but so I won't demo this part completely, but you can generate a summary about that business. You can generate using OpenAI and connecting it with this, which is something we help and do, is you can generate an intro conversation. So what it's going to do is it's going to take that person's information, it's going to go through the website and any information that it can about that business, and it's going to personalize a message about that website and about that business to that person. So it's going to personalize it so that you have a personalized opener, which gives you a higher open rate to the messages that you're sending out, which is super important. And then the last piece is it's also going to help you generate a unique subject line as well, because the opener and the subject line are the two pieces, especially within an email format, that if that catches the eye of the person, then you have a better chance of getting into a conversation. So that's some of the AI stuff that's built into here. But this is just the industry search of what that looks like. And like I said, this allows you to then spend more time targeting those specific people rather than trying to find this information yourself on this end. So um, that's the industry search. I want to jump in and then talk about the people search. So let me switch over. I'm going to just create another quick campaign. So business owner, people. So then I'm clicking on this one. And through that, now what we're doing is this is going to be a little bit different search. And it's going to be more finding an individual rather than a company. what we're looking for is the position. So we'll still do the same aspect. We'll see what searches it comes up with. Is we're going to do doctors. So we're looking for, and the key thing that you'll have to understand from this is what position people typically take, like physicians, things like that, um, in those different practices, and then search the area. And now from here, now I'm pulling in their LinkedIn information. Right now, it's just from a basic standpoint, it's giving me position and company. Again, I need to go back into here and I need to give it a little bit more time because I know it's going to find some emails. So let's see. Usually if I give it like a full minute, it'll pull in more information. Because like I said, it's pulling that information from real time. And as I'm doing this, just so you know, like if anyone has any questions about this, feel free to raise your hands. I'm just going through a quick demo of understanding. Like I said, my goal is to help individualize this for everyone here, so that you have a tool that you can use to get and procure more leads to your business, so that you don't have to spend as much time pounding the pavement and you can spend more time directly um, talking to your target marketplace. Like I said, I don't know if I'll have all the time right now. The second component of that is the crafting of the messages after you generate the lead and what those messages look like. And that's going to be super important. Those are things that we want to be able to help with. So hold on a second. I'll share my screen again. It's just being super slow. All right. And then we'll get back in there and we'll see what kind of data it pulled for the people search. Um, as it's doing that, the other and third and final search that's on here um, is the individual search. And what that's used for, I kind of explained it earlier, is that once you have a company or a website URL, you put that website URL or company in there. And then what it's going to do is it's going to take look through all, there's a lot of different backend data that it's pulling from of data points, but it's going to take a look at that and see who works at that company. And it's going to pull as much data as possible from that. Typically, what you're pulling from here is emails. Um, a lot of times you get lucky and you pull phone numbers. That's really what this tool is allowing to do is, like I said, you're doing data scraping. Now, these are still cold email. They don't know you from at or cold people. Like I said, they're just a lead. They're not an engaged lead. The next piece of that is crafting the messaging that goes along with it for those specific target marketplaces, so that you can get them to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested. So I am pulling this back up, but as I'm doing this, any questions that anybody has really quick before I jump back into this? Let's see. Cool. For as many people as that are on here, no questions. That must be, I'm doing an amazing job.
Jaws are still on the floor.
All right. And again, I was gonna say, I mean, Phil, thanks for jumping on as well. Um, as I'm getting this back up and running, I haven't showed you this tool even to that extent. What are your thoughts on something like this? Even for some of the things that you're doing.
So when it boils down to it, the whole process or the whole point of this is
Or did you?
names, right? You want to get names, you want to get opportunities, and you just need a way to get to step up to the plate. So if you get an organization and you could talk to the business owner, how awesome would it be to offer 401k plans? Or if you're talking to the whole staff, tax-free retirement, basic needs planning, wills and trusts, stuff like that. So there's a whole lot of ways that you can craft that. And I know through lead base, one of the big benefits too is having a campaign set up to allow you the opportunity to, if they don't answer, yes, no, and then we have a call tree or an email tree and things like that too. So I think that's going to be immensely advantageous, especially from taking a cold lead and turning it into an opportunity.
Absolutely. And that's really the art of what ends up happening next after this is you're allowing the you're getting the information so that you can then attack them from multiple angles. I'm not sharing my screen right now. I'm getting it to pull back up. It was taking an extra minute, but um, let's see. I got another question. Does this help in mass communication? Can this be integrated in personalized WhatsApp, texting, Telegram, or just limited to email marketing? No, I mean, once you have the data, like I said, if you have their phone number or you have a WhatsApp or Telegram or things like that, and you have those different aspects, um, you can take this in any other place. Same thing with like, for example, like with what we're talking about right now with LinkedIn. The idea is, as we know, or if you don't know, then here's some knowledge for everyone. The average sale, I think it's like 60 to 70% of sales, somewhere around there, happens between the seventh to 12th touch. That's a lot of touches. Most people give up on like the second or third touch. So all those access points that you just mentioned, all those medians that you just mentioned, if you can message them on those different platforms, along with, I know email is just one communication standpoint, um, then that allows you to increase the probability that you're going to make a sale. What our job here, the first part of what we're talking about is where do you find that information? How do you get a hold of that? Because, like I said, the people that are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all those different areas, I mean, if you found unique ways and sent the same message on four different platforms, and two of them caught their eye, then that allows you to have a conversation that probably really no one else is having with them in those different mediums. So yes, it does help from a mass communication standpoint. Um, WhatsApp, we're not quite there with, but you mentioned WhatsApp. The reason I mentioned that is because we literally are doing a WhatsApp integration. We're literally waiting on the Facebook API because Facebook is just slow to do stuff. Where we will be integrating WhatsApp with lead base. Texting, we already have. Telegram's not there. But um, WhatsApp, I mean, we're hoping by the end of this month. We'll see. If not, it'll definitely be next month. And then, yeah, talking about crafting the message, I can definitely get into that a little bit. I'll show a tool that we have in lead base. Again, Phil, uh, uh, you're getting everyone that's on this call is getting more information than you typically get from us. But I mean, I, I'm I'm sorry, I have to do it, but it would help, if you didn't travel as much. So I mean, with that said, yeah, I'll help with that messaging and what that's going to look like. I'm not going to take a big dive into it today. We are going to do like a fuller session on this another time. That will dive into that a lot more. But that's really what I want to be able to offer to everyone. So let me share my screen again really quick. All right, it'll take a second to load. And again, thanks to everyone for their patience with the internet and stuff like that. Um, Leads are the question of the leads are exclusive. Um, That's all. I love that question when people ask it because um, there is really no such thing as an exclusive lead. And what I mean by that is everyone's responding to something. And because like this isn't like a closed source data pool where people have raised their hand and said something, this information is out on the internet. And other people that have scraping tools like this can find that same information. So from the concept of a lead being exclusive, well, a lead by definition just being contact and contact information can't be exclusive within that. The conversation that you create by crafting a good message, that is what's exclusive. Um, and that's really the focus that I think everyone, from a lead generation standpoint, if we can shift towards that mindset a lot more, then the effectiveness of your communication and the messaging that you're doing and the offer that you have, um, that's something that's super important. Um, I can't remember if you were on last week, but if you weren't, it was a great recording. We actually there's some specific messaging that we went over in that message that I'll pull up. That was helpful from that you can use in text or emails or LinkedIn or Facebook and things like that. Anyways, that really is the concept of the exclusivity of the leads. This is lead information that's out there. What you're trying to do is take that lead information and turn it into an engaged lead. And when you get it into an engaged lead standpoint, that's exclusive to you because you're the one that's communicating with them. So we're not, what I'm not, we're not a lead generation company. We're not here selling saying, hey, here's the leads that we have, and we're going to sell these leads for here's final expense leads, here's IUL leads, here's annuity leads at $100, $200 a pop for all that information. What we're trying to do is make sure that you have the tools in your hands to be able to generate those engaged lead conversations for yourself and help you find the data to be able to do that. And we think that's more important than doing the end of the engaged lead because really quick raise of hands and I'm already raising my hand and you can't see it because I don't have my video on because it'll be choppy is how many people have bought leads and have gotten frustrated by those leads because they suck. I'm raising my hand. Phil, I'm sure you've been there yourself. See, I got other people raising their hand too. Absolutely. Um, and I think, like I said, that's really, I'm going to get off my soapbox with that. Excuse me. So, can everyone real quick, just make sure, can everyone see my screen again? I just need a couple people to raise their hand. Perfect. Okay. So, um, that's from, from a search standpoint. And like I said, we can use AI to generate some of those openers. Unfortunately, I didn't fix it right beforehand. Um, let's see if it's going to do. Yeah, no. There's just one thing on my end that I need to finish up. I will demonstrate that for everyone else another time. That is one way using OpenAI to search the site and that information, and then generating an opener, an intro opener. That's another one way that you can generate unique openers that would get them to open the message. The other thing, and I'm not going to go through this at all. This is actually for another time. But we have built into our platform an AI copywriting that uses. Is anyone really quick familiar? Raise their hand. Raise their hand. Is anyone familiar with NLP, neuro linguistic programming? Everyone heard that concept before? So I'm only getting a couple people. So there's a bunch of people on. So I'll real quick just explain the concept of neurolinguistic programming. You can look it up. There's a lot on it. But neurolinguistic programming is basically for us, it's how we talk and how we get people to want to get the sale themselves, basically. Um, And there's some great teachers out there. If you've never and Tony Robbins teaches neuro-linguistic programming. There's a great sales coach that called Jeremy Miner. He teaches neuro-linguistic programming. He calls it a little bit different. At the basic foundation, it's neuro-linguistic programming. He calls it NAPQ, neuro-emotional persuasion questions, if I remember correctly. But that's what neuro-linguistic programming is. So there's NLP is built into a lot of what you're seeing here from an AA standpoint. And like I said, I'm not going to go through this. That's not what today is for. But you can use this, and it already has some pre-built questionings and promptings in it to help you get to the end result a lot quicker because ChatGPT is phenomenal, but you still have to give it the right prompts and ask the right questions and give it the right information for you to get the right input. So you have to tweak that a lot. This helps narrow that down a lot quicker. And that's really what this piece is for. But like I said, I'm not going to go through this at all right now. All right. So um, I don't want to keep everyone throughout the entire time. There's definitely some other things that we can go through. Because my internet's being a little bit slow, this was meant as a teaser. Like I said, my end goal of what I would want to do, and especially with some of the stuff that we're doing, is show you what's possible. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Show you what's possible, and then say, hey, let's find a time to talk so that we can see how this can help you individually. Um, I know there's a lot of great questions that were on here. What I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to share, and I actually last week, if I shared the wrong link and no one was able to book because there was no availability, that is completely my fault, and I apologize. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give everyone, let's see. Phil, actually, because I'm a co-host this time, um, can you take that link that I just posted and can you share that to everyone? Because I'm a co-host, it just allows me to share it with the hosts and panelists. Um, but what I'd like to do then is, like I said, field some questions if there are any, and then um, the link that was just put on the chat for everyone is my calendar link. I would love for anybody that wants to find a time that I'm available. We'll sit down for 30 minutes. I'll ask some questions about your practice and your business. And especially based on the two conversations that I've done so far, last week with database reactivation and today with our Get Leads program, I would love just to have a open-ended conversation about how those things can help and if there's anything else that we can do. Again, our goal is to help you do more production. Um, and I know it sometimes feel like there's a lot of obstacles to be able to get there. We want to be able to help out with that. So any questions that anybody has as we're talking about this, and then I'll also, if there's no questions, just a comment or anything like that. Is this something you're gonna raise your hand, put it in the chat or the Q&A? Um, is this something that was helpful? And again, if you book, since all of your, um, we only had a couple people drop off. Um, if you're still here and you book an appointment, I will generate 50 free leads using that tool that I will send to you in an Excel spreadsheet. And we can talk about turning those 50 leads from just a lead to an engaged lead.